Ancient and Medieval India, Part 2, presented by S B THILEEBAN. Prehistoric Period, Paleolithic Period or Old Stone Age. The earliest traces of human existence in India so far discovered go back to the second interglacial period between 4 lakh and 2 lakh BC. This is suggested by a large number of primitive stone tools found in Son Valley, now in Pakistan, and in South India, chiefly in and around Chennai. In the Indian subcontinent, primitive humans in the Old Stone Paleolithic age, which lasted till 8000 BC, used tools and implements of stone roughly dressed by chipping found throughout the country, except the alluvial plains of the Indus, Ganga and Jamuna rivers. Flint was commonly used as it is hard and flakes easily. Tools serve a variety of purposes such as skinning of dead animals, cutting their flesh and splitting bones, etc. Humans during this period were essentially food gatherers. They were almost totally dependent on nature for their food supply requirement of game animals and edible plants. In course of time, they learned to control fire, which helped improve living in many ways. They also used the skins of animals, barks of trees and large leaves as clothes. Humans organized themselves in a small wandering groups consisting of few men, women and children. It was towards the end of the Paleolithic period that the Homo sapiens first appeared around 36,000 BC. A significant find of Indian archaeology in recent time is the discovery of fossil, a skull cap, of a Homo sapien at Hathnora in the Narmada Valley. It is found in association with the early Paleolithic tools. The Middle Paleolithic tools were identified at Nevasa, district Ahmednagar, Maharashtra by H.D. Sankalia for the first time, and Upper Paleolithic from Kannanur caves in Andhra Pradesh. Subsequently, Paleolithic sites have been reported from across the country, including the regions of Assam, Bengal and Orissa. Mesolithic age or the Late Stone Age. From 8000 BC, the end of the Ice Age, began an intermediate stage in the stone culture called the Mesolithic Age. It is also referred to as the Late Stone Age. In India, it continued well up to about 4000 BC. The characteristic tool of this transitional phase are the microliths, for instance, the pointed or crescentic blade. Some of these were used for killing fast-moving animals. Some were stuck on handles of wood or bone to make tools such as saws and sickles. Various Mesolithic sites are found in the Chota Nagpur Plateau in central India and also south of the river Krishna. The stage reflects a more specialized and increasingly efficient food collection, leading to the beginning of plant cultivation. Neolithic or the New Stone Age. This was the food producing stage when humans completely changed their way of life. Neolithic settlements in the Indian subcontinent are not older than 4000 BC, even though in the world context they began much earlier in 7000 BC. Traces of Neolithic communities have survived mostly in the northwestern region. Example, the Sulaiman and Kirtar hills in the Vindhyas in Deccan and the Garo hills in the northeast. Neolithic settlements in Balochistan seems to be the oldest. In the new way of life, human beings began to domesticate animal and cultivate plants. The dog, goat and sheep were probably the first to be domesticated. Among plants, wheat and barley were the earliest cereal grown. As a result, man began to settle down in certain selected areas. This led to the growth of villages and farming communities. The tools that they needed also changed. A sickle used for harvesting, an axe used for cutting and felling trees, a quern and mortar for grinding grain, and various liquids. They used ochre-colored pottery. The wheel was an important discovery. Towards the close of the Neolithic period, the use of Metals began which used in the Chalcolithic phase around 6000 BC. In a nutshell, Paleolithic sites. Bhimbetka, close to Narmada River in Madhya Pradesh, because of natural caves and rock shelters famous for its paintings which depict wild animals. Hangsi, close to Krishna River, a large number of tools made of limestone used for all sorts of activities. Kurnul Caves, close to Krishna River, evidence of use of fire. Patna, Maharashtra, has large quantities of ostrich eggshells and beads made out of them. Mesolithic sites. Langnach in Gujarat, Mohrana Pahara in Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh, the earliest evidence of burials in India along with goods placed with the dead. Neolithic sites. Megnagar in northwest Pakistan, one of the earliest villages. Gurkhwal and Burzahom in Kashmir, early evidence of farmers and herders of sheep and goat. Sirand, Bihar. Koldiva, Uttar Pradesh, rice has embedded in the clay of potsherds. It suggests rice was an indigenous crop rather than an import from China or Southeast Asia. Mahagara, Uttar Pradesh, rice and cattle. Davojali Hadding, Brahmaputra Valley. Hallur, Andhra Pradesh. Payampalli, in south between Krishna and Kaveri. It was close to the routes leading to China and Myanmar. Stone tools such as mortar and pestles and stone jadeite that might have been brought from China were present here. Megalithic sites. Adichanallur in deep south beyond Kaveri River. Brahmagiri between Krishna and Kaveri rivers. At the site one skeleton buried with 33 gold beads, 2 stone beads, 4 copper bangles and 1 conch shell was found. Megaliths or large stones marked burial sites, a practice that began around 1000 BC, was prevalent throughout the Deccan, south and northeast and Kashmir. The dead were usually buried with the distinctive black and red ware, tools, weapons of iron, ornaments of gold and stone and sometimes skeletons of horses and horse equipment. Inamgaon, a site on the river God, a tributary and the Bhima. It was occupied between 1600 BC to 700 BC. Here the adults were buried in the ground with the head toward the north. Sometimes burials were within the house. Vessels that probably contained food and water were placed with the dead. Early villages. Mehragar, one of the earliest villages we know about, has remains of rectangular houses, burial sites, pointing to belief in life after death. Cotton was grown probably from 5000 BC. To be continued. Thank you.